welcome to the ZigZag halter romper / dress pattern video. In this video, you'll learn how to make this romper. So let's get to it. All right, 2 quick tips before we begin. You can use any size yarn and any size hook for this, but I recommend whatever size yarn you use, that your hook is the same size as the yarn recommends or smaller, because you want your tension to be tight on this. For my first romper that I made for this one, I allowed my tension to be a little looser because I kind of wanted it to go quicker, but then I wore it for a performance and it was kind of sagging by the end of the night. So you want your tension to be as tight as it can be so it keeps its form and size. My second tip is that we are going to be making two separate panels, I guess. So we're making one side and then the other side. So I recommend you make the first side and then immediately start making the second side if you are able to. At least don't like put down your work and then come back a month later, because your tension could change. So you want the tension to be the same on each side, because for me this side was like tighter than this side and it kind of sagged more on this side. So you want to make sure that your tension is tight and as consistent as possible throughout the whole piece. All right, so to start, we're going to measure to find the length that we need from the neck to the bottom of the romper. So you're gonna measure from your neck down to where you want your hem to be. So to measure, you're going to start at your neck, because that's where the halter is going to start. And then you're going to measure, find the length that you want the romper to end. For me, it's about 25, 24 inches. Let's go 25. And then I'll show you the math we have to do, because since the pattern wiggles, the first chain is going to decrease by 15%. So here's my math for you. So the measurement that I need is 25 inches. I feel like a math teacher. And it's going to decrease, this is so fun, by 15%. We need to find what is 85% of. So how we do that is we do 25 times 100, and then we divide that number by 85. So 25 times 100 is 2,500. And then we divide that by 85, and we're going to use a calculator for that on my computer. So we did 25 times 100 and got 2,500. And then we divide that number by the percentage that we're trying to find, which is 85%. So 29 point blah, 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 blah. We can round to 29.5 inches or just round up to 30 inches if we want. But that is the length of the chain that you're going to make first. Okay, so if that doesn't make sense, please email me and I will try to explain further. But here's your equation that you're gonna do. Your number. So the length that you want your romper to be from your neck to the hem times 100, and then you do that first, and then you divide it by 85, and then whatever number you get here is the length of chains. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I know you probably weren't expecting math, but crochet is math apparently. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, unfortunately I have some more math for you. Your chain length in the beginning needs to be a number the number of chains that you have need to be divisible by 12. Meaning, if you take that number and divide it by 12, you'll get a whole number. This is because the zigzag pattern that we're doing, the sequence of stitches, there's 12 stitches in each sequence, so it's going to repeat and you're going to need 12. You're going to need a number divisible by 12 for it. So I recommend making a chain as long as you need from the number that we figured out before, your number times 100 divided by 85, whatever that number is, make your chain link as long as that, and then count your chains divided by 12, and then find the closest number that is divisible by 12 to that number. And you can go up, you can go down, whatever you prefer. Hopefully it's not too far away. But yeah, again, if you have questions about that, email me and I'll help more. But yeah, let's get into it. So row 1, our chain. We'll start with a slip knot. And then chain. Chain as long as you need until you get to that number, or that length, and then find the number that you need that is divisible by 12. And I'll see you when you get to the end. All right, I finished my chain. It is 144 stitches long. That's divisible by 12 because 12 times 12 is 144. It's just below 29, it's just below 29 inches, but I'm doing that because I know that my tension will inevitably be a little bit loose because that's kind of how I stitch, even though I'm using a smaller hook. So if you know that you have loose tension, I would recommend just making it a bit smaller, not too small though. All right, for row 2, we're going to chain 3. And then in the 4th chain from the hook, we're going to do a double crochet 2 together. Then we're going to do another double crochet 2 together. Then we're going to double crochet. And then in the next stitch, we're going to do 5 double crochet, all in that one stitch. And then in the next stitch, we're going to double crochet. In the first row of doing the sequence for the zigzag stitch, it's really easy to miss the double crochet right after the 5 double crochet because you're kind of smushing the stitches here. So just make sure you don't forget that one. So double crochet. Another double crochet after that. Double crochet 2 together. Double crochet 2 together. And that's the end of the sequence. So you're just going to continue that all the way until the end of the chain. All right, so once you finish row 2, you should end with 2 double crochet 2 together, and then we're going to flip our work. Chain 3. This counts as your first double crochet. And then double crochet 2 together. We're just repeating the same exact pattern from the last one, but I'll go through it once. Double crochet 2 together. Double crochet. And then the 5 double crochet in one stitch is going to be in the third 5 double crochet from the last time. So that's how you know you're staying on track. So 5 double crochet in this one stitch. Double crochet, double crochet, double crochet 2 together, and double crochet 2 together. And that's the end of the sequence. So you'll repeat this sequence for the rest of the row. And then once you finish that, I like to change colors every 2 rows. You can do whatever you'd like. Just keep in mind that it's easiest to change in whole numbers so you don't have that seam. So it should look like this without any like weird ugly stuff. Let's see if I can. So this is what the back looks like. You can tell with like the double crochet 2 together, it adds this extra little piece of yarn here, and it makes it not as nice and pretty. So you want to make sure that that's in the back. And when you finish your this row, you're gonna start the next row the same way that you started technically the second row, but the first row of the actual pattern. You're gonna repeat row 3 until you get as many rows as you need for half the length of the width of the neck section. So for me, it was 6 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I moved on to the decrease. But depending on your size, you might want it to be wider or smaller. If you have a larger bust, you would want a wider neck section because it'll cover more. If you have a smaller bust, you might want it to be smaller, maybe 4 rows instead of 6. And keep in mind, you can always add more onto the middle after if you need. So the first row of our decrease is going to start with a chain 3. That starts with that counts as our first double crochet, and the decrease is going to start in the beginning here. So we're going to double crochet 3 together. And then we're going to double crochet 2 together. And then we do 4 double crochet in the next stitch. And then to finish the sequence like normal, we'll do double crochet, double crochet, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together. And then for the rest of the row, you're just going to repeat the normal sequence that we've been doing for the first 4 rows for the rest of this row until the end. Once you get to the end of the first decrease row, you're going to turn your work, chain 3, and start it like you would normally. I definitely already started that row, but just go do the same sequence for the whole length of the row until you get to the last group of the sequence. All right, once you reach the last group of the sequence in row 2 of the decrease, you're gonna have 10 stitches left over. You're just finishing the second to last sequence, so we end on the 2 DC 2 togethers. To end it, we're going to DC 2 together, DC 2 together, 3 double crochet in the next stitch, DC, 2 DC together, and 2 DC together. So here we'll change our yarn. To start row 3 of the decrease, we're going to chain 3, double crochet 2 together, double crochet, 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and then double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, and then we're starting at the top of our normal sequence again. So just continue with the sequence until the end of the row, and then turn around like you normally would for the next row. And when you get to the last sequence, like we did with the row 2, I'll meet up with you and tell you what to do. All right, when you reach the last group of the sequence in row 4, we're going to double crochet 2 together, double crochet, double crochet, and double crochet 2 together. Now we're going to change our yarn and then get to row 5. All right, for row 5 of the decrease, we're going to chain 3. This counts as our first double crochet. Then we're going to double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, and then we are at the top of our sequence again. This one was an easy one. And you're just going to continue that sequence until the end, come back around with row 6 like you would normally start a row, and then I'll help you out when you get to the last group of the sequence of row 6. All right, once you reach the last sequence of row 6 of the decrease, we're going to start the sequence like normal with a double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet, 5 double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, and double crochet 2 together to finish it off. So this is how it should look now. You can see where the decrease is. From now on, you're going to repeat rows 1 through 6 of the decrease until you get to a point where you're ready to either start the next decrease or where you're ready to end your panel. That depends on what size you need and what shape your body is, and I'll explain that all in the next section. All right, once you've done a good amount of these rows with the decrease, you have 2 options, depends on your body type and your measurements. First option is if your hip measurement and waist measurement are similar, you can just continue this decrease until this, like the bottom, measures to about half of your hip measurement. And if that's the case, just keep going until you get to that point. And then skip this next step that I'm about to show you and go on to starting the next panel. If your hip measurement is smaller than if your waist measurement is smaller than your hip measurement, you're gonna continue the decrease that we've been doing until the width of it measures about half the measurement of your waist. Reminder that crochet always stretches, so you don't have to make it as long as half of your measurement. My waist measurement is 26 and I only have 11.5 inches here, but like it's gonna stretch, and over time it'll stretch even more. And you don't want it to sag. I always think that it's better to make something smaller and then it'll stretch over time rather than make it big and then it'll be too big later. All right, so let's move on to the next step so you can bind off this last row. So we're gonna attach our yarn to that 3rd double crochet in the first group of 5 double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1. In the next stitch, we're going to single crochet, and then we're going to half double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, and from there we're going to be doing our normal sequence again, and we're going to do that the whole row until we get to the end, turn around like normal, and then once we get to the end of this row, once we get around here, I'll tell you what to do when we end it. But you're just going to continue this row as we normally would with that normal sequence. All right, when you reach the last group of 5 double crochets before the end of the row, we're gonna just put 5 double crochet in here. Double crochet, double crochet, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, half double crochet 2 together, single crochet, and then a slip stitch in the last one, and then change colors. And then we'll flip our work, attach our next color to the first, or to the third double crochet in the first group of 5 double crochet. So it'll be this one right here, and the last one we did this one, and then we're moving on to the one we just created. And you're going to continue the same thing we did here until you get to a measurement of the hip length that is almost half of your hip measurement. So finish this panel and then come back when you're ready to start the next one. All right, somehow I lost the footage for this section of the video, but to start your second panel, you're going to start with a slip knot and then chain the same amount of chains that you made when you started your first panel. All right, once you finish your chain, we're gonna start row 2. We're gonna chain 3, and then double crochet into the third chain from the hook, double crochet again in that same stitch and the same chain, and then we're going to double crochet in the next chain, double crochet in the next one, and then double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet, and then 5 double crochet in the next stitch. All right, so we're doing pretty much the same exact sequence as we were doing before, except we're just starting and ending in a different spot. So we're starting like halfway through the 5 double crochet group. So we'll go through the sequence again, and then I'll let you finish this row. So after the group of 5 double crochet, we are going to do a double crochet. Don't miss that chain right after the group of 5. Then we're going to double crochet again. Double crochet 2 together. double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, and double crochet 2 together. We're gonna have 4 of those in a row. Then double crochet, and then 5 double crochet in the next stitch. And after that, the sequence repeats, and you're just going to do the same sequence until the end of the row. All right, when you get to the end of row 1, or I guess row 2, just end on 3 double crochets in the last chain, not 5, so just 3. And then to start row 2, we're going to flip our work, chain 3. And then we're going to do 2 more double crochet in that same first stitch. And then we're going to double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet, and 5 double crochet in the next stitch. And then after that, you're just going to repeat the sequence like normal. When you get to the end, you end the same way we ended the row right before this. You end with 3 double crochet, and just like with the first panel, you're going to continue row 3 until you get the same amount of rows that you did last time before you start the decrease. So in the beginning of the video, I started with just 4 rows, and then I added 2 more on. So I'm going to do 6 rows, and then we're going to move on to the decrease. So do the amount of rows that you need, and then we'll meet for the decrease. All right, when you're ready to start your decrease, you're going to start the first decrease row like normal. And then when you get to the last group of the sequence, I will join you and tell you what to do. Once you reach the last group of the sequence for row 1 of the decrease, we're going to double crochet, double crochet, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet, and double crochet. Then for row 2 of the decrease, we're going to chain 3 to start, counts as our first double crochet, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet, 5 double crochet in the next stitch, and then you're just going to repeat the normal sequence for the rest of the row. And then when you get to the end, you'll change colors if that's where you're changing, and start the row like normal, get to the last sequence, and I'll join you there. All right, at the end of row 3 of the decrease, we're stopping 2 sequences before the end because we're doing 4 double crochet in this spot right here instead of 5. So right after the second to last group of double crochets, we were gonna do a double crochet, double crochet, double crochet 2 together, DC 2 together, DC 2 together, DC 2 together, double crochet, 4 double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, and double crochet 2 together. Then for row 4 of the decrease, we're going to turn our work, chain 3, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet, 3 double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet, double crochet, DC 2 together, DC 2 together, DC 2 together, DC 2 together, double crochet, 5 double crochet in the next stitch, and then we are back to the top of the sequence, and you'll go to the end of this row, turn your work for the next row and start like normal, and then when you get to the last sequence, I'll be back with you. All right, when you get to the last sequence in row 5, we are going to double crochet, double crochet, DC 2 together, DC 2 together, DC 2 together, DC, DC, 2 DC in the next stitch, DC, DC 2 together, and DC 2 together. Then we are going to flip our work. For row 6 of the decrease, we're going to chain 3, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, there should be 4 of those, and then double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together, double crochet, and 5 double crochet in the next stitch. And then after that, you'll finish the row like normal. And then we have just done 6 rows of the decrease. So you're going to continue rows 1 through 6 of the decrease until you get the same amount of rows as you did for the first panel before you moved on to the steeper decrease. And then when you get there, you'll move on to the steeper decrease and do it the same exact way. And then after you finish the second panel, we'll come back and attach them. All right, once you finish both panels, we are going to sew the two together. So I put them right sides face together, meaning the sides that you want to show on the outside are going to be faced together. So we're gonna start with the longer side. All right, starting at the top where the neck is, we are going to insert our hook into the first stitch of both sides. For me, I added these extra 2 rows here, but you'll be going through the chains of each side if you didn't add any extra rows. So insert your hook into the first stitch on each panel. Attach your yarn there. And it can be either color. And then we'll insert our hook back into those 2 stitches. Pull our yarn through, chain, and then we are going to do a single crochet in each stitch. Like this. In every single stitch we're going to do this. If you want this to be a dress, you're just going to go all the way to the bottom. If you want this to be a romper, you should hold it up against your body to see where you want the crotch to be. If you're making a romper, wherever you have the split for the shorts at the bottom, make sure it's either at a peak or a valley. Like the peaks being the third of the group of 5 double crochet, or at the third double crochet 2 together. That is because when we are making the shorts here, you want to be able to do either a full or a half of the sequence. For me, I'll stop right here in this second to last dip on this side, or the second to last hill, if you want to call them those things. But line it up to your body and see where you want your the shorts to begin, the crotch area. But you're just going to continue single crocheting these 2 panels together like this until you get to either the end if you want to make a dress, or until you get to the point where you want the shorts to begin if you want to make a romper. Once you finish this side, we're going to move on to the other side. We're still going to have right sides facing together. Once you finish sewing up this side of the 2 panels, you're going to move on to the back side. Start from the bottom if you are making it a dress. So you'll sew up as far as possible without while still being able to bring it over your head or over your butt, so you're not stretching it out. And then once you get to that point, if you still need it tighter around your waist, you can just sew it up, like lace it up like a corset in the back. And I'll show you how to do that. If you are doing the romper version, you're just going to start from the point where you ended on the other side, so it's even. All right, I'll show you what that looks like when I'm finished with mine, and then we will move on to the short part, shorts, turning them into shorts. All right, this is what the back's gonna look like. You can see that how it's getting wider for your hips here, and they kind of like alternate with each other. The zigzags, the stripes kind of alternate with each other. And you'll just go as high as you need or as you can before it's too tight to put on and like pull over your butt. And once it's too tight, and if you put it on and you still need to bring in the waist, you can just take a piece of yarn. You can either just leave it as like the normal piece of yarn, or you can make a chain link and then just lace it through the stitches in the back like you would a corset or something, and then you're just gonna like lace it through and go back and forth through each, and then you'll tighten it when you put it on and loosen it when you take it off. So that's how you're gonna do that. The front on the inside looks like this. So for the romper section, if you're making a dress, you can skip this and move on to the halter part. But for the romper, we're gonna turn it right side out. We're gonna work from the front only, and then once we finish the pieces that will connect to the back, we'll connect them to the back. But for now, we're gonna just work from the front. So choose one side. I'm gonna choose this side first. Attach your yarn to the bottom. So our yarn is attached to that first stitch here. And we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to do our normal sequence until the end, until we reach where the 2 panels split. So we're going to do our 2 double crochet in that same first stitch. And it depends which side you start on. For this side, it's going to be the stitch for the second panel, and for the other side, it's going to be the stitch for the first panel. But I'm on the second panel right now. Then we're going to double crochet, 2 together, do that 3 more times. By now, I'm sure you know the stitch pretty well. So continuing here, we'll do 5 double crochet. And then just keep doing the sequence until you get to the end. When you get to the end, for me, I am going to finish with a double crochet 2 together. Notice how this last stitch has 2 stitches in it. That's totally fine. And then we are going to turn our work, chain 3, and we are pretty much just doing a smaller version of what we've been doing for our 2 panels. And we're just going to notice how here we're starting with the first panel start, but it's going to depend on where you end it, where you end the sewing up the 2 panels. But pretty much we're going to keep adding rows until we get like a long rectangle like this on both sides, until it's long enough to reach the back side, and we can sew that together to make the crotch of the shorts or the romper. Okay, so for a better visual of the shorts, this is where the 2 panels split, and then we are pretty much just adding 2 like rectangles to the bottom, doing one side first and then sewing it, as you can tell here, sewing it to the back side of the panel where the back split, and then doing the same on the other side, and then sewing in the middle the 2 rectangle panels together, and that creates the shorts. So coming back over here, we're going to continue to make this like rectangle panel come out as long as we need. You can keep trying it on, and you can go back and forth between these 2 panels so you can see what it's like with both of them, but you're going to keep trying it on as you add more panels to see how long you need it to be to make the like the pant leg fit around your thighs the way that you like it. If you want it tight or if you want it loose, you're just gonna have more or less rows of this rectangle section. So continue making rows, and then I will come back when we have both of these panels done, and then we're gonna sew them here and then sew the 2 panels together. All right, once you finish your little rectangle section, to turn the romper into a wrapper to make the pants section. You're going to turn your romper inside out, put front sides facing together, attach your yarn. You can either attach it on the bottom, on the bottom part over here, or you can start from the middle section. I'm just using the yarn that I just used to make these last 2 rows. And what you're going to do is just the same thing that we did here for the other seams. You're just going to single crochet each stitch with the other together for the whole way across. And once you finish this rectangle, you'll go to the other one, and then I'll show you how to bring them together like that. But you do the same thing with the other one. All right, when you're ready to attach your 2 rectangles at the bottom here, you just put them, again, right sides together, and then we're doing the same thing. We're just going to go through each, since we're going on the side, there's no actual stitches, but you're going to go through the sides of the stitches, about 2 per each double crochet. Let me get closer here. And you're just going to do your single crochet all the way up the rectangles. And you're just going to continue that until the end. And then we will move on to the neck, the halter strap, and then we're done after you sew in your tails. All right, for the halter neck piece, it's really, really simple. We're gonna start with a slip knot and then chain as long as you need to wrap around your neck. I'd say twice. You need it to just wrap around your neck and then have enough to tie in the back. And then once you do that, I will tell you what to do next. Once you have your chain at the length that you want, all we're going to do is we'll start with the chain 3, double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, and then you're going to double crochet in every stitch until the end. And you can leave it at 1 row if you want, or you can do 2 rows, and what you'll do at the end is just chain 3 and then double crochet in every stitch. And remember, the chain 3 counts as a double crochet. And you can make it as thick or thin as you want. You can even do, instead of double crochet, you can do half double crochet or even single crochet. But if you do single or half, I'd recommend doing more than 1 row. But it's up to you, up to what you want it to look like, how you want it to sit on your neck. But yeah, it's quite simple. I'll show you what it looks like at the end, and then we'll we'll sew it onto the romper. All right, once you finish your strap, it should look something like this. Again, you can customize it to the way you want it. You're going to find the middle of the tie and put it in the middle here. You're going to attach your yarn to the end of the flat section at the top of the romper. And then we are going to single crochet all the way across, just like we've done with the other sections. And you're going to do that single crochet all the way until the end, and then the next strap will be attached and you'll be ready to go. All you have to do is sew in any of your loose ends, and then it's finished. You can block it if you'd like, or it'll be ready to wear as soon as you're done. All right, here's how it should look at the end. Let's finish that. And then here is the whole romper, or dress if you made a dress, but this is how she's looking. Now all that's left to do is tie in your yarn tails, and then you're all done. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope the pattern was easy to follow. Feel free to email me any questions you have about the pattern or anything, and thank you so much. Bye!